Okay, so as we talked about today, we're going to begin thinking about our interdisciplinary units that possibly we have already have threads put in place over the years of teaching that you may be able to create an interdisciplinary MYP unit plan from. Um, One example I wanted to just share with you kind of quickly today is one that Matt Dudley and I do have his permission to share this. We just worked through this after years of working together. There's one particular unit that just seemingly came together. For example, one of the things that we do is he takes the math problems that he uses for his math morning work, and I'll show you that. He takes math morning work that questions from my Civil War unit can be added to his math morning work. For example, one of the questions this week was, what was the date of the Emancipation Proclamation? When did Abe Lincoln proclaim that? And so when you do the mathematical equation, you find that the Emancipation Proclamation, the kids will come up with January 1st, 1863. So that is something we talk about on that Thursday. Every day was something that was correlating or going right along with our Civil War unit readings for the week. At the end of the week on Friday, he is going to have a culminating event, and he will be calling this, as he does his other Friday activities, the Dice of Destiny. However, this time it will be involving the idea that with Civil War, the North versus the South. So he's going to have the whole group of kids come together using his Dice of Destiny theme. He'll roll dice, they'll play against one another, and we'll see what if history repeats itself or if the North and the South who prevails. That's just an example of threading together some of the details of lessons for the week. You may have a whole particular unit that you can go ahead and start to think about. If you do that in the IB dashboard today, we have in our module some tools that will help you to kind of do that. You're not going to go to unit planning, although this is a unit plan. In the module for today's module, you're going to have a lot of resources there, one of which is a couple videos and articles on interdisciplinary units. There's the IB's unit plan and description of the formal description of that. And then once you're ready, and this is something that perhaps, as we talked about, that you might start to think about in lieu of or as part of your PLC meetings with somebody on a team, as Dudley and I did, then you would take and start to build your template. So the template that we created, this is just a template that forces you once again to make a copy. Okay, and it will come up like this. So the interdisciplinary unit 4, and maybe you have 2 curriculums, might be 3. I highly doubt 3 can would be something that I would start with. Maybe just go like an ELA teacher with a science teacher, has a related concept. I boxed this out a little bit darker, and you'll see why when you look at the sample that Duds and I did here of our um, related concepts. So we took from both of the uh, of our subject guide overviews, our SGOs. And so a lot of this is taken from, just like we did when we built our actual planning unit plans last couple weeks or months, I should say, just took from the scope and sequence of those. Let me just give an example of those subject guide overviews that links you back to. So this will take you to the math, You might be able to go back to the social studies and just scroll through to find what key concept you're trying to establish with this unit. For this one that I explained, Civil War math, some of the key concepts were processing and logic. Took from math and social studies for the quantity and also justification. So justifying what date, in the Emancipation Proclamation was announced, you had to kind of quantify that. You had to come up with the answer to the product there, or the mathematical equation. Your global context, again, using both the math and social studies. So we started to come up with just some inquiry questions. Can the use of knowledge of Civil War facts help the students to solve in this related mathematical equation? One of the threads, as you start to see, again, if you go back and look at some of those added resources in the module and the IB booklet, the idea of interdisciplinary work for students, it benefits them because they're starting to build upon their knowledge, not only giving them, the background knowledge, but then also giving them the possibility that they can find answers related to something they already know. So, those are just some of the things that are, again, debatable, but that's what the purpose of interdisciplinary units can be. Some of the objectives, and then we just worked through this is a work in progress, and so you might see obviously some mistakes, but this is just a sample that I wanted to share with you today. All right, have fun looking through or maybe reflecting on some things you already do. Maybe it's homework big with social studies that you do something like that. Science, you probably have ideas as well. I liked bringing math in because math is sometimes hard to connect with. Thanks for listening.